In this quick video, I want to introduce you to EEM, the Embedded Event Manager. EEM is a very powerful utility that we can use for troubleshooting and for network maintenance. It allows us to create a policy within a router, and this policy can say if a specific event happens, then we can respond with one or more actions. We could have the Embedded Event Manager actually change the router configuration based on an event. But just to give you a sample of what EEM can do, let's configure a policy that's going to create a syslog message that can be written to a syslog server if we're configured for a syslog server, and that's going to be written to the console if somebody clears the counters on the router. We've talked a lot about documentation and the importance of keeping that documentation up to date. Well, if somebody clears the counters on a router, maybe they should document why they did that. What we're going to do in this example is say, if somebody clears the router's counters, then we're going to generate a syslog message reminding them that they should record why the counters were cleared. And this example will show us the structure of one of these policies. Let's go into global configuration mode and create an event manager applet. And we can give it a name. I'm going to say event manager applet. And I'm going to call this applet counter-reset. And I can say what event I'm looking for. I can say event, and I'm going to give some context-sensitive help just to show you that there are many events that we could look for. But I'm going to look for a specific CLI event. I'm going to look for somebody typing in the command clear counters. I'm going to say that the event is a CLI event, a command line interface event, where somebody is typing in the pattern, and I'll put the pattern in quotes. They're putting in the pattern of clear counters. And if they do that, we've got some other options. I'm going to say sync no, and this means that my EEM policy is going to run asynchronously with the CLI command. In other words, the policy doesn't have to be executed before the command is executed. Another option we have is skip. We could say if somebody types in this command, skip it, don't execute it. But I'm going to say skip no will allow them to clear counters. And we can also say how many times does this have to occur before we consider the event to have been triggered. And I'm going to say that just once. If somebody clears counters, then that's going to trigger the event. I'll say occurs 1. And we've now told EEM to look for this specific event to occur. Now I can specify one or more actions to take in response to that event. I'll say action, and you can give this action a name. I'm just going to say action 1, and I could take a variety of actions. Take a look at context-sensitive help. What I'm going to do, though, is create a syslog message, which is going to appear on the console. I'm going to say action 1 is going to be syslog, and I'm going to specify a syslog priority level. It's going to be a syslog message with a priority, I'll say of informational, and I'm going to specify a syslog message. I'll say MSG for message. And then in quotes, I'll put in the message that I want the administrator to see on the console. I'm going to say, please update network documentation to record why the counters were reset. And we're done. We've now created an EEM policy that says if somebody enters clear counters, then we're going to generate a syslog message. Let's see if it works. Let's say clear counters. And we'll confirm that yes, we do want to clear counters. And notice what happens. In addition to actually clearing the counters, we get a syslog message with a severity level of 6. That's informational. That says, please update network documentation to record why the counters were reset. That's a look at a basic example of Cisco's Embedded Event Manager.